I've been knee-deep in AI video generators for months, burned through a silly amount of credits and cash, and I wish someone had just told me what actually works. Most tools are either pricey, confusing, or the output looks cool until you full screen it and go, I'm going to cut the noise, show you the generators that are genuinely useful, where each one shines and where it falls over, and then I'll show you the real unlock. How to turn whatever you generate into a steady stream of shorts that actually post on time across your socials. Generation is the first half. The back half, clipping, styling, scheduling, and staying consistent is where growth happens, and that's where Vizard carries weight. Runway first. It's the Swiss Army knife that's fast, friendly, and packed with extras. Buildings looked good, camera motion was smooth, and the interface doesn't fight you. The trade-off. Resolution and texture fidelity aren't top tier. Those flying cars felt soft, and complex movement, running, dancing, anything with physics can look floaty. If you want speed and a broad toolbox for ideation, drafts, and social scale visuals, it's solid. If you need cinematic realism, it's not the final stop. Sora is the opposite end, photoreal juice. I gave it a simple hiker in a sunlit forest, rays breaking through the trees, prompt, and got something that looks like it came off a pro camera. The lighting sells it, micro movement on leaves sells it, camera physics sells it. You get up to 1080p, around 20 seconds, and a storyboard jar keyframe feel that gives you more control than most pure text-to-video models. Downsides. Content moderation is strict, randomly strict sometimes, so harmless scenes can get flagged. It also occasionally drifts off prompt in a way that burns a generation. When it behaves, it's wild. When it doesn't, you feel the guardrails. Minimax, aka Hailuo, is a make-it-move machine. I tested a restaurant kitchen, chef flipping a pan, flames popping, background busy, and the energy was there. You can generate multiple clips in parallel, which is a nice productivity bump. But realism isn't its strength. People animate a lot, but not always naturally. Physics can go off. Characters sometimes start talking even if you didn't ask. Resolution often needs upscaling. If you want action and motion for social that reads fast on a phone, it's fun. If you need grounded, natural movement, temper expectations. Luma Dream Machine has that get something now vibe. I ran a cat playing with yarn in warm sunlight, and the model gave me dreamy, slow motion cat energy. The UI and API are quick. First frame, last frame features are useful for certain animation flows, and you can crank iterations fast. But realism is not its lane. Movements often feel slowed or surreal, proportions can go uncanny, and resolution trails newer models. I treat it like an ideation and animation sketchpad, not a photoreal engine. Cling is the power user option. You can train on faces for better control over who appears, use negative prompts to dodge typical AI weirdness, and the results can look genuinely cinematic. I tested a detective inspecting evidence, added a negative prompt list, blurry, distorted, unrealistic movement, and got a focused, believable performance with a smooth, slow zoom that built tension. The killer feature is elements. You can keep multiple characters, outfits, objects, and environments consistent across scenes. I uploaded 2 distinct characters and had them walking through a jungle. Both stayed on model through the shot, which is rare. Caveats. Steeper learning curve, more knobs to turn, and sometimes it misses even with similar prompts. 2 consistent characters is the sweet spot, a third tends to muddle. So how do you pick? Think in sliders instead of brands. Do you need speed or realism? Do you want low friction drafts or high control? Are you okay with a learning curve for better consistency, or do you want push button results? Is compliance on moderation a factor? And what's the actual destination? One hero shot, a stylized animation, or a batch of short form clips for social? Here's the honest truth though, all of these are generation tools. They'll give you cool scenes, sequences, or drafts. None of them will run your posting cadence. The difference between we tried a bunch of AI tools and we grew is the back half, turning long recordings and generated snippets into consistent, captioned, platform-ready shorts that go live on a schedule. That's where I plug everything into Vizard. My weekly workflow looks like this. I record one meaningful long piece, 12 to 30 minutes. That could be a tutorial, a product breakdown, a founder update, or a podcast segment. I toss that file or link into Vizard. Vizard analyzes the entire video and pulls the parts that actually stop scrolls. Clean hooks, mic drop lines, stats that punch, funny beats that lift. It cuts them into vertical clips for TikTok, IG, Shorts, and auto-generates captions that land on syllables instead of lagging behind. From a 20-minute recording, I'll reliably get 8 to 12 posts in minutes without scrubbing timelines. Then I make taste decisions, not do grunt work. I set my caption style once, font, color emphasis, stroke, a light background that reads on dim screens, and Vizard applies it across the batch so everything looks on brand. If the best line is buried 5 seconds in, I trim to it and let captions carry missing context. I bold only the phrase that sells the idea so scanners get the point at a glance. If a clip feels static, I add B-roll or a subtle motion background. These are 2-minute tweaks because the base cut and captions are already done. The content calendar is the cheat code. I can see my entire week like a storyboard. Monday gets a bold claim, Tuesday a tactical win, Wednesday a short story, Thursday an objection buster, Friday social proof or BTS. If 2 clips look too similar, same crop, same shirt, I rearrange to keep the feed feeling alive. Titles and post copy live inside the same view, so I write on-screen titles like promises, not labels, and tighten captions per platform. Then I flip on auto schedule. 2 per day at 10 and 4, post to TikTok, IG Reels, Shorts, maybe LinkedIn if the tone fits. And I walk away. Vizard ships it. I'm not airdropping files, jumping through 5 upload flows, or remembering to hit publish. This is also where those generators combine into something bigger than the sum of their parts. The Runway or Sora hero shot becomes a hook at the start of a clip. Then I let real voice carry the content. A Minimax action moment works as a mid-clip pattern interrupt to reset attention. An open art story breaks into a mini-series of short beats across the week. A clink scene with consistent characters threads an arc, part 1 Monday, part 2 Wednesday, payoff Friday. I drop them into the same Vizard batch, so the captions, titles, and framing look consistent across everything. It reads cohesive instead of we use 5 different apps. For teams and agencies, this is sanity. Editors don't play asset bingo, they open Vizard and see what's queued. Strategists can rearrange the calendar for narrative or campaigns. Clients leave notes like bigger captions, tighter crop right on the clip. The fix is a 2-minute tweak, not a V9 render. If something needs to jump the line, you drag it to the top and auto-schedule adapts. A few small caption rules that punch above their weight. Lead with the best line. If the context matters, subtitles will carry it. The hook buys the next 5 seconds. Break lines on meaning, not in the middle of a phrase. It feels human. Don't sit captions on mouths or chins. On a phone, that's a quality killer. Set placement globally and forget it. One emphasis per line. If everything is neon, nothing is. Test on low brightness. High contrast readability beats fancy styles in the wild. If you want to go minor automation without becoming an engineer, set a simple trigger so when you upload a new long video to YouTube or drop it in a folder, Vizard starts the batch and pings you when clips are ready. That's it. You don't need 1,000 apps. The calendar and auto schedule are where consistency actually happens. Quick, honest recap of where each generator fits before we land this. Runway, versatile, fast, beginner-friendly, great for drafts, edits, and quick effects. Realism ceiling is noticeable. Sora, realism monster with natural physics and lighting, strict moderation and occasional drift can waste generations. Minimax, a Hailuo, movement and energy for days, parallel generations, realism and resolution need love. Luma Dream Machine, speedy ideation and animation leaning outputs, dreamy slowed motion vibe, not for photoreal. Cling, cinematic aesthetics, negative prompts, face training, and elements for cross-scene consistency, powerful but with a learning curve and occasional inconsistency. And the through line, none of them manage your cadence. Vizard is the glue that turns long recordings and generated bits into a consistent short-form pipeline with auto-editing viral clips. A branded caption, look across the batch, a content calendar you can reason about at a glance, and auto-schedule so posts go live while you live your life. If you want a simple plan to try this week, here you go. Record one 15-25 minute piece. Generate 1 or 2 wow shots with your favorite tool. Runway, Sora, Cling, whatever fits the vibe. Drop the long video into Vizard, let it pull 8 to 12 clips and sprinkle those generated moments as hooks or cutaways. Set your caption style once, write titles as promises, lay out your week in the calendar, and turn on auto schedule. Do that for 2 weeks and watch what happens. You'll publish more with less stress, your feed will feel intentional, and you'll stop losing momentum to export hell. The AI video generator you pick matters, but not as much as whether you actually ship. Vizard is how you ship, consistently on time without burning your weekend.